This video is brought to you by patrons of Alan Cadiz. Join the team at patreon.com/AlanCadiz.
Aloha YouTubers! In this video I want to share with you a wing foiling adventure we had with a group of friends at the Berand Island Resort in the Marshall Islands. Owned and operated by Martin Daly, who started the Indies Traders Surf Company, this resort caters to surfers, kiters, and wing foilers. We departed from Honolulu, and 4.5 hours later we landed in Majuro, the capital of the Marshall Islands. From there, we flew further west to Aling Laplap Atoll. From there, we left the airport and headed across the island on the airport shuttle. This is where we'd meet the boat that would take us to our final destination. Once we arrived at the island, it didn't take long to settle in, and for the next 7 days we had a lot of fun, in addition to epic wing foiling. Launching from the boat dock, we had access to a variety of conditions. The first, on an outgoing tide, the swells in the channel were fun to ride. A short upwind sail put us in the channel, and you could choose the size of waves you wanted to ride. If you stayed closer to the edge of the channel, the waves were nice and gentle, good for beginners learning how to glide. Stay forward! If you wanted bigger swells to ride, you just had to head a little further out. The channel was fun, but we have a lot of this type of riding on Maui. What I really liked was the flat water that this place had to offer. Everything inside the coral atoll was what I would call flat water, but there was a spot nearby, just a short reach from the dock, over to another island, where the water on the downwind side of the reef at low tide was exceptionally smooth. It was at this spot that I had a breakthrough in my jibing progression. Downwind of the island, there was no wind, and I did a jibe heading into that lull. And the wing got held up behind me for a moment, and it felt like there was something to it. So I tried it again. The next day, we headed over to the western side of the island, another beautiful spot. The water was crystal clear, and with the sun reflecting off the sandy bottom, it made for some beautiful colors. We spent a lot of time over here on this part of the reef. And it was over here that I tried that jibing technique again that I had experimented with the day before and had a bit of a breakthrough. Now this is an advanced jibing technique, so let's back up and talk about the progression of how we got here. In a normal jibe, or standard jibe as I call it, the clew, or the end of the strut, passes over the bow during the jibe. This is the standard technique because typically the true wind speed is greater than the boat speed, which keeps the clew flagging over the bow during the jibe. I am convinced the future of advanced wingfoil jibing is with the leading edge forward, because as you gain skill and speed, your boat speed can exceed the wind speed, causing you to get backwinded. So I've been making an effort to make all my jibes leading edge forward. The Heineken jibe is another example of a leading edge forward jibe. In a Heineken jibe, the wing is transitioned early, followed by shifting the hands. In this new jibe, the hands are shifted first, then the wing is oversheeted to the point that the clew is pulled through the eye of the wind. Then the wing is transitioned. When I say transition, I mean the wing pitches from one wingtip over to the other. Now I can't say yet that this is a superior style of jibing, but it sure feels good when I get it right. I can confirm that you need to learn how to keep the leading edge forward as your skills progress. Now let's get back to touring the Marshall Islands. This is the west side of the island looking east at BBQ Beach. We had a number of meals here.
Ready for that? No lunch for you. Back out there.
Our meals were prepared by a full-time kitchen staff, and every night was a culinary delight. We spent a lot of time just downwind of the reef, south of the dock. My favorite spot was the channel just upwind of the dock. The current would go against the wind on an outgoing tide, so I'd get extra lift. I spent a lot of time here practicing my new jibe technique. Now there were other things to do besides wing foil. I took some fishing gear and I enjoyed the fishing. I didn't catch much, but I did see some good fish.
Oh, there's a jack right there.
We had one light wind day where there was some surf, so Captain Martin took us aboard his sport fishing boat for a surf safari.
We're almost to our destination. I think it's over here that we're going to surf. But all over here is beautiful for winging.
But Patty doesn't surf, so we decided we'd check out this island with our snorkel gear. It was pretty cool walking on the beach with no other footprints. After circumnavigating the island, we put our snorkel gear back on, and this is what we saw. Okay, Patty, let's go back to the boat. I want to go surfing. I have to admit, I was a little intimidated, not because I can't surf, but because I've spent so much time on the foil that I've sort of forgotten how to surf. In foiling, it's important to keep the weight on your front foot. In surfing, in the back, especially when you're turning. But after a few waves, I got my sea legs back and my confidence. Keahi Diaboitis was one of 2 watermen along on the trip to keep us safe and show us how it's done. Keahi, along with Rio Stevens, videotaped, coached, kept us safe, and entertained us. Here Rio takes a spin on my board.
Now do a trick!
That was me.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
I think it's safe to say we had a really good time. If you'd like to watch the instructional video I produced on this trip about Patty's toe side tack, troubleshooting, and progression, join the team at patreon.com/AlanCadiz. If you're already a member, thank you for your support to help me post this video on YouTube.